Nationwide this evening, we meet people in County Wexford who've taken to planting their own fruits and vegetables on a shared allotment space in Enniscorthy. Also, we meet a family in Meath who love their garden and sharing what they've learned online with Twitter users all over the world. Welcome to Nationwide and to Enniscorthy. Now, being part of a community means a lot to a lot of people. Gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of sharing, and a sense of being responsible for an environment as well as well-being. A community here in Enniscorthy came together to create a community allotment project with the relevant public bodies, and it's been a huge success. They've brought people from all kinds of backgrounds together, and joined together, they're in a beautiful holistic space. Mary Fanning went to meet them.
It's hard to believe that this acre and a half just outside Enniscorthy town is only up and running since March of this year. This community garden is flourishing, providing 65 allotment spaces, and the explosion of produce is testament to a project that has drawn people from a range of backgrounds together, opening up a wonderfully inclusive environment, empowering individuals to have the confidence to grow their own food. The project was driven by local man Michael Devereux, who secured the site from Wexford County Council, formed a committee and successfully secured leader funding to assist with the enterprise that has been embraced.
It's actually grown as a community. You know, it has actually grown as a community since we set up. And there's such a lovely atmosphere up here, such a peaceful atmosphere. Even just come up and sit down, maybe bring a flask of tea and a sandwich with you, you know, just to sit down and relax. It's not all about the growing as such, it's the process. All the people that are here, they are pulling together, they look out for each other, you know, they support each other, you know, and they'll even take turns watering their produce over in the polytunnel and stuff like that if they have to go off. So they look out for each other.
When the idea for Enniscorthy's community allotments was being formulated, the committee was determined to be all-inclusive, and Wexford Mental Health have found that their service users have benefited on many levels from their involvement, especially coming out of a restrictive time with COVID.
It's been a very difficult time on them. There's been a lot of restrictions with COVID, and this is an opportunity to get out and work in nature. It's very beneficial, you know, working with soil. It's very stress relieving, and as well as that, look, they're coming out, they're mixing with other people in the locality, other allotment users. They're learning from them. We're all learning. It's a very new project we have here. There's a great history of gardening and farming in the mental health service, and this is just ideal. You know, the setting, the environment, you know, it all adds to the relaxation and the improvement in their mental well-being.
The service users are delighted with their raised beds and just love growing and being part of a group outside their usual settings.
It's lovely to be out in the fresh air and see the lovely plants and work with them with your hands and see do I know what you're doing is very fulfilling.
If I hadn't have been in hospital, I wouldn't have got the chance, so it's kind of like an extra bonus. So, there's plenty of people here to help and show you how to do it, and there's no want of space, so we end up with more produce than patients. When we do the gardening, you learn so much about gardening that we'll nearly be able to do it by ourselves some days.
The community allotments are an empowering space, and many who rent it for the price of €50 a year are getting very skilled at growing.
I've really surprised myself with the stuff that I've grown already, and even some of the things, like I've been very surprised myself, getting excited seeing things growing, like, you know, so planted stuff in and seeing it growing, like, so yeah, and the first time I've ever grown that in my life.
And tell us what you've got in your plot. What have you?
So I have lots of stuff. I have potatoes, onions, turnips, carrots, lettuces, garlic, loads of stuff, loads of peas, beans, the whole lot, like everything. So I tend to fit everything in. Things that I like to eat, they're the things I want to grow as well. So if I like to eat them, I want to grow them as well. So
you're delighted with it all.
Absolutely thrilled about it, yeah, absolutely delighted about it.
There's a lovely mix of people working at the allotments, and some Ukrainian nationals find the space a very welcome release.
It's a pleasure to work on the allotment because the work on the allotment distracts us from everyday thoughts, from terrible thoughts about Ukraine, about the war in Ukraine, and from bad news from our motherland. So it's a pleasure to work here, of course. We are very glad to have such an opportunity and to receive a pleasure working with soil.
It's also a safe space, and for the Cottage Autism Network, it's also a coming together space for the children and their families, and one that has plans to develop skills in a number of areas. Their funding came from the Late Toy Show appeal.
We are one of the lucky participants that actually received Toy Show funding. From the Toy Show, we are able to do this year and next year. The children are going to be able to come to this allotment, start from scratch, grow their vegetables. They've each got a position as well, so it's a mini company that's running. They're actually going to get a profit at the end of it, so whatever they sell at market is theirs to keep. So hopefully in a couple of weeks the teens will go to market with their produce. And they'll stand there as all part of their social skills and their life skills, their health and well-being, that they can actually do something like this and benefit greatly from it.
Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow.
The parents have found their time on the allotment with their children a great release, and it gives them time to interact without anyone judging them.
So when we come into this allotment, right at the gate, the kids run up. We don't know what each child has because we never have to ask in this sort of environment, whereas you're apologising outside. If you're in a shop and there's a child having a meltdown, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, if they're really, really bad, and you have to remove them from the situation because you feel that it's better for them and it's better for yourself as well. Whereas in here, even if they're running around, even the other allotment people are so kind, and they do know that the children themselves have, got to run around and they've got to stim, and you're sitting down and you're sort of like, oh, it's okay, you can breathe, your actual rib cage opens, because you know that you have that support there, which is amazing because there is not a lot of places that you can do that.
That sense of nurturing has resulted in the community allotment offering so much more than just growing. It's a very empowering space, and that is one of the objectives of the leader group, who gave substantial funding along with the local credit union.
I think that's the great thing about any community garden, is it brings together people from all different parts of the community, but they have a shared interest, and then they bond through that shared interest. And it's part of the mental health benefits of a community garden, as well as the physical benefits. You're coming out, you're physically gardening, you're benefiting from organic produce that you've produced yourself. So in terms of impacts, it absolutely ticks every box in terms of being a positive addition to any community.
Joanna is a Polish national who recently moved to Wexford, and she's found the whole experience very welcoming and peaceful. It's her escape time.
When we found out about that allotment, I was very happy because, I do live in an apartment in Ireland. I own an apartment here, so I wouldn't have any opportunity to grow my own veg. And because me and my friends, we decided to go together and take the spot, because we work full time, so we will share things together and help each other with grow some veg, so I'm actually very happy to do that, It's actually a good idea, and like you see, all grow so well,
Mark Cook looks after all the social media for the allotments. He's an experienced horticulturist, but he loves having the opportunity of being involved.
My job is quite demanding. I work in a children's residential home, and it's stressful, and I think when I come in here it's a little bit of a release. It's almost like it's therapeutic. You come in and you put your hands in the ground, you work away, you come up, you have a conversation and chat with people, and it's just a nice social outlet as well, and it's relaxing environment. There's no chaos, there's no stress, there's no worries. You just come in, you do your thing, and you enjoy yourself.
Everything and everyone thrives in this atmosphere, and local councillor Aiden Brown, who was one of the main supporters from the local authority, is teaching his children about the soil, biodiversity and involvement, and he fully supported Michael Devereux in pushing the project.
Enniscorthy needed this, something that wasn't in the town, something that looked like it was never going to be in the town, and loads of people have tried it and have been knocked back for various reasons, but Mick didn't take any knockbacks and he got the right people behind him, and we got there, and it's been amazing for Enniscorthy since COVID, and it's just, this is what the county needs now, is just projects to keep going and going, especially allotments, and I think this is a one-off here in Enniscorthy, but I think it's going to grow around the county.
Families are learning together, and the children are getting more confident every day and becoming experts along with their parents in this space where you can make friends as well.
I got involved with the allotments because I love gardening, first of all, but secondly as a way to meet people, as a social spot to share common interests. So it's a really unusual kind of club, I suppose, we have in the town. We're really lucky to have it. So I've met loads of people, the kids have met loads of people, and they really enjoy meeting them then around town as well. People of all ages, like children their age, but also adults, and they see Eamon, our lollipop man, has a plot up there, and like that they kind of feel, and for myself, you can build connections with your community, and it really makes you feel a part of something, especially if not being from here. It's been a brilliant way to integrate.
The community allotments in Enniscorthy are ticking all the right boxes, and AnneMarie OBrien and her sister Aisling are spending every spare minute they have in a space that Aisling has made very pink.
I kind of got into gardening the last couple of years in my own garden, but I wanted something for me and Aisling to do, a hobby for the two of us to do together and to learn something new as well. So this was an absolutely perfect opportunity because Aisling loves meeting new people. That's her favourite thing, is meeting and talking to people. So while I'd be here and Aisling would be doing the watering and weeding and everything with me, she's also going around and speaking to people, and it's absolutely brilliant to be part of that community. And that's why the two of us can come over here. We could just come over here for 5 minutes, but we're here an hour later speaking to people, so it's brilliant for her, I think. It's brilliant for two of us.
What are you best at?
Only.
Onions?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you eat the onions?
No.
There's a lot of joy and happiness at the Enniscorthy community allotments, and it's a project that just keeps on giving and drawing people together with very beneficial results for all those involved, and there are big plans for the future.
I'd like to think that we'd be able to put a sort of state-of-art training centre as part of this project together, not just to serve Enniscorthy, not just to serve Enniscorthy community allotments, but maybe to serve the whole of Wexford, you know, because there's Back to Education initiative where you could do level 4 horticulture, there's further ed, level 5 horticulture, there's horticulture, therapeutic horticulture, and then our own workshops that we'd want to do here as part of the Enniscorthy community allotments. So hopefully they will embrace that idea.
Congratulations to the Enniscorthy community allotments, and they've just been informed that they have received the Energia Grow Your Own Best Transformation Award, and it was only announced yesterday. Now after the break we meet two young lads who are passionate about gardening, but they want to get everyone else involved as well. Stay with us.